Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to fix the issue of your Teams tab and your Jerseys tab showing absolutely nothing in the roster editor. I will say this first though, if you got sent this link, you need to read more because this is explained in my previous tutorials and in the first post of Leftos' roster editor thread. So I mean, this probably just got looked over and this is just an easy way to tell you, hey, this is how you fix it, okay? So let's open up the roster editor, and I open up my NBA Street Volume 2 roster, and I'm editing it. I'm all happy. The teams and the uniforms are showing up all great. Hey, good for me. So then let's open up the current roster that just came out. Hey, that's great. I got my players tab working. Oh, jersey and teams aren't working. What's going on here is that you want to make sure you're on the custom option over here, and you need to remember that each time 2K adds players, they screw with the offsets of where data is in the roster. Unfortunately, there's no good way to pinpoint where all this stuff is because all the data around those points change all the time. So there's no real way for us to be able to fix that except by using these custom offsets. Now, to get these custom offsets, you want to go over to the NLSC. You want to go to the NBA 2K13 forum, the Releases and Preview subforum, and you want to find this sticky thread right here, Roster Offsets for the Roster Editor. Now, this one up here is for the retail roster. You want to try to go down and see if I or someone else has posted offsets for the roster that you're using. You need to keep track of when your roster was generated, or you can just try your offsets and see if they work, but the latest one is probably the one that you want to use. If you have an association or a My Career file, you need to think back to when that file was created, and that will be the offsets you need to use. So this is the current roster. As you can see, it's February 4th, so let's try the January 30th roster, which is the second to last roster update that we got. So how do we input this? Let's bring this down right here. So we have a custom roster offset, and we look around here, we see custom roster offset right there. So we just double click there and type in this number right there, 869598. Then you go down to the bit offset. I have that as 4, so you go to 4. Then the jersey offset. So right here is our number. So 1494547. And go to the jersey bit offset, and that is 7. Now remember, this changes. It's very possible that for the All-Star update or for the trade deadline update that 2K is going to do, this is all going to screw up and change again. So remember to check this thread for those offsets. And Xbox 360 guys, we got you right here. Thank you very much, Squallwind. So go ahead and hit save here, and then we just go right back over to the teams. Ta-da! Jerseys. Hell yeah. All working, all ready to go, all ready to be edited in the roster editor. Now, you might want to check my old tutorials on how to find these offsets. But what's great is that Leftos updated the roster editor a while ago. I didn't do a video for it. With this find offset thingy. So it's like find my hex, but it's in the actual roster editor now. Unfortunately, again, there's no way to automate this because if 2K changes the starting point guard and the starting shooting guard for the 76ers, which is unfortunately happening a lot this year, this no longer works. So if you look at the top of the first post of this roster offsets thread, you see the jersey offset should be the first occurrence of this, and the results are looking for the first 76ers jersey. This should stay constant throughout. So we go ahead, right click, and paste that in there. So I took this hex that it's trying to find, and I just put it right here, search. And then you just wait for the roster editor to go through the entire roster, checking every little bit offset to see if it can find that hex in the roster. So this will take a few seconds, and look what it found, 1494547 plus 7. If you look down at my offsets that I recently got, 1494547 plus 7. That's how you find it. Now, the easy way to do the roster offset, which can be A little confusing because as you can see right here, XXX, XXX, replace XXX with the player IDs of the 76ers starting point guard and shooting guard. You have to go in-game first to check out who the starting point guard and shooting guard is for this roster update, and then put in their IDs. So you go over to the Players tab, which should always work with every roster. Find out who the starting point guard and shooting guard is. And it's usually the first two. Sometimes 2K will screw with us and change it up, but that's basically how you do it. So I hope you guys learned how to do it with this tutorial. Again, I'm sorry if Leftos and I are being a little bratty about the offsets and having to continually tell you guys that, hey, you need to read the first post, because we explain this and it's very difficult. I mean, there's no way to update the tool like that without completely destroying and rebuilding the roster, which is what Vlad does. So I hope this helps. I hope you learned something. I will see you guys on the next tutorial.